Well, good morning and welcome back to Cityline. With me, I have two amazing women who are here to talk about the comings and goings and the jingling of the Salvation Army. Please join me in welcoming back Major Cheryl Kinnaman from the Salvation Army. It's so good to see you again.
You too, Amanda, always.
You are just a pleasure. And this woman you brought with you, look at the sweater. The sweater says it all. Stacy Blaisdell, you are the Business Operations Manager for the Christmas Coordinator Salvation Army. That's a big title and a lot to carry. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I'm doing great.
If I say this is a busy time of year, that's an understatement, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So let's talk about Major Cheryl. I want you to give us the history of the Salvation Army, and then Stacy, I want you to jump in and give us the history of the Red Kettles. So how did we first think about, or who thought about starting the Salvation Army?
So the Salvation Army started in 1865 by a man named William Booth. He was a Methodist minister, and he would ride the train into work every day and into the city in London. And he would see people living under the bridges, people who needed food, and no one was taking care of them. So he decided he was going to do that. He was going to make that his mission with his wife, Catherine. Catherine, his wife, is a very important part of this ministry. And so they began, just in a nutshell, they began what was called the Christian Mission at that time. And they would bring people in, they'd clean them up, they'd feed them, they'd help them get jobs so that they could go out and be productive in their lives. And then his goal was to send them back to their own churches. And what happened is the Episcopal Church members didn't want these people back, or the Church of England, because they knew them as the drunkard in town, or the prostitute.
Oh, all that judgy stuff.
Yes, all of that stuff. And so he began what is called today the Salvation Army, which is also a ministry. I'm an ordained minister in the Salvation Army, as well as my husband. And if you're married, you both have to be ordained and Salvation Army officers.
Boy, that would make for a great holiday to have two ordained people.
Yeah. So and that's the basics of the
Well
Salvation
said,
Army.
Major Cheryl. Okay, Stacy, let's talk about the Red Kettles.
Okay. Well, around the turn of the last century, there was a Salvation Army captain named Joseph McPhee, and he had the goal of feeding 1,000 needy people Christmas dinner, which lofty goal.
Lofty.
Very lofty goal. And he was trying to figure out how he was going to do that. And he was stationed down around San Francisco. So he'd gone down to the docks and gotten a huge cauldron, much bigger than what you see here with our Red Kettles today. Put a sign on it, said keep the pot boiling, kept the kettle boiling. And he was able to raise enough money to feed 1,000 people Christmas dinner that Christmas. And so that's how it started.
That is a great story.
Yeah.
So we are, as I believe now, if I ask you when is bell ringing season in Tacoma, I think you're probably going to say now.
It's now.
It's now.
Yeah, and it's running through Christmas Eve. So we'll knock off at noon Christmas Eve, but we've been bell ringing since about the 25th of November.
And here's some of these wonderful volunteers. So I want to ask you about the amount of money that comes in as a result of those bell ringers. Do you have a goal every day? How do you measure, if it's working, or you got to ring that bell louder?
Well, we have a goal this year of about $180,000, and every day we count. We bring the kettles in from the night before.
Yep.
And I'm going to say probably about a $5,000 day is a really good day.
Wow, that's great.
But we're at about 50% of our goal at this point. So we're still looking for people to put their money in the kettle.
That's right. Bring it over the top. Because, Major Cheryl, when we think about that money, it does go to feed people, but there are some other services the Salvation Army provides. Tell us about those.
So, the Red Kettle Christmas season is their largest fundraising time. And so here in Tacoma, we have a family shelter that is 365 days a year where families come and stay with us. We can house up to 14 families and usually are full. and one's ready to come right afterwards. We have a food bank where we collect food from the community and from different agents or different stores, and which we help to provide for local food banks as well, or not banks, but pantries, as well as our own food pantry, which is open 3 days a week, where people come and get a food box. We do probably about 150 to 200 food boxes a week.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
Wow.
easily. And so that's done with volunteers and some staff. We're a small staff, but we provide that. We also have what we call our Shield Center, which is really our social service center, where people can come and get their electricity paid for, their rent assistance if they need that. As long as we have funds to help with that, we can help them with that.
That is impressive. Okay, so let's go back to the sweater, because the sweater, Ms. Stacy, when we think about, it's got just the holiday all over it. So how does the Salvation Army of Tacoma collect toys? Because that's something else that you are known for, is toys at Christmas.
Well, we have a lot of toy collection boxes out there in the community. So different businesses, Charles Schwab down in Tacoma, Pop and Notary on 6th Avenue, Cutter's Point on 6th Avenue, so many more. Walmart. We also have the Giving Tree at the Tacoma Mall. But we're still looking for toys. We've put an ad out in the paper. Some people have responded to that. But we're still very low on toys.
Is that something that you have experienced in the past? Is it because of COVID, or is that something that is just a part of that December that you look at and go, okay, this is the extra oomph, we got to push now for more toys?
There's probably always something of an extra oomph, but we had the problem with toys being shipped last year, and then this year there's some inflation that people are having to contend with.
Yes.
Yes. Delicately put.
Yes.
So we're desperately in need of toys, especially for girls and for ages 5 to 12.
Okay, and when we talk about toys, let's define a toy in the sense of, if I were to say, I'm going to go shopping and I want to find a toy and hand it to you, what should I look for? And what condition should it be in?
Okay, well, they should be new and unwrapped.
There you go, yeah.
We do get toys sometimes that you can tell people have cleaned out their closets, and we're grateful for them.
Yes.
But what the kids are really wanting, both boys and girls, are Legos.
Yes.
LOL dolls.
Okay.
Craft kits, superhero figures, things like that is what we're really looking for.
I love that. Major Cheryl, in the years that you have been watching all of the holiday magic unfold, the Salvation Army works so hard to provide, is there one toy that consistently is asked for that is beloved?
I would say Legos.
Legos.
Yeah.
It's universal,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is.
Yeah,
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I played with my brother's Legos, and I loved them. So Legos are universal. There we go. Stacy, what other events are happening around the holidays here that we should know about with the Salvation Army?
Okay. Well, a lot of our events have already passed because we're in our last week and a half.
Oh my gosh.
But some things that we had were our trivia night that we do online on Facebook, which is becoming more and more popular. Anybody can be involved in that. We've had people from Massachusetts come in, so look for that next year.
Okay.
It'll be there. We just had our Como Fred Meyer Toy Drive on Friday, where we had Rhubarb from the Tacoma Rainiers, and Como was out and interviewed us. We are in the midst of toy bag preparation, but we also have toy distribution on Wednesday that we're looking forward to.
I love that. So I can hear my grandmother saying to me, many hands make for light work.
Yes.
When I think about toy distribution and all the things that the Salvation Army accomplishes, what are some ways the community can donate if they can't get to a kettle?
Okay. There's many ways. They can go to our website, which is www.tacomasalvationarmy.org. We also have our own, what we call a virtual kettle, and that's at tacomaredkettle.org. Year-round, people can go to our website and give. Yeah, they can also call us at our admin office, and ask somebody how to donate. There's many ways to do that. Some people like to send in checks.
Right.
And I can help out with that.
I love that you said that. So let's in this last minute 30 seconds, let's talk about some of the volunteers.
Okay.
Because this would not move, the ship would not move without the volunteers.
That is
so
correct.
how can the volunteers help, Stacy?
For Christmas, we could still, I think, use some help with the toy bag preparations. They can call me to find out how to do that. And also distribution day.
Okay.
I could use volunteer bell ringers.
There we go.
Absolutely use those. Call me and I will get you scheduled.
Boy, wouldn't that be great to have like some office just say, okay, we're going to take this block. We got 10 people. So how intense is the bell ringing training?
Well, I will have a conversation with somebody and just tell them what the expectations are. Because there's rules we have to follow at different stores. But the biggest rule is you go out there and you have fun.
That's right. There it is.
Yeah.
You two, I'm pinching myself that you're on the couch right now, given how busy this is and that the tsunami is about ready to break over you, and you're just sitting there so calm. Thank you, thank you, thank you for loving people the way they should be loved, not the way that they show up. And I thank you so much for that, and for the children that you put a sparkle in their eye on that Christmas morning, which warms mom and dad's heart. So thank you for all of those beautiful love is in the details things that you do. And happy holidays.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you.
All right. Julie Anderson will be in the comfy couch in just a second. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.